What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today I bring you another video for Crush Them All. So today I'm starting a brand new series, which I still don't have a name for, so if you guys can think of a name, leave it in the comment section down below so we can name this series. But it's a series where I am going to be talking to some mid-game to end-game players and getting their thoughts on the game, as well as getting some tips and tricks from them of how they got to where they were and the amount of time that they got there. So today we're starting that series, and we're bringing in, you guys might know him from the official Discord. He goes by PK. He's going to be joining us today. So PK, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. So like we've already talked a little bit about kind of what we're going to go over in this game. So let's just dive right into everything. So the first question I have for you is, when did you start playing Crush Them All?
I started in February 2018, so that's just over 800 days now.
Okay. So you've been playing for at least like 2/3 of the life. I think it's been like the game's been around for like 3 years or so. So you're pretty early, but not quite like bright, like, you know, fresh right as the game came out, but still pretty early on, right?
Yeah, but the game was, you know, it's come a long way since then. So I'm glad I started at a good time.
Yeah. Okay. I wish I would have started back then, because this game's amazing and I could be the best at the best, but I didn't. So I gotta deal with what I got, but that's okay. I want to know, like, you know, like what it was that brought you to Crush Them All. Like, did you play games before this or whatever? So like, when did you, or why did you decide to play Crush Them All? What was it about the game that kind of drew you in?
Basically, my previous game, Tap Titans 2, was kind of taking a turn for the worse, and then players from that game pulled me over to Crush Them All, so that's how I got here.
Okay, so you just kind of followed some of your friends over and kind of joined them in the game. That's kind of cool. I definitely don't think that's definitely a thing. I've played a lot of games, and I've started most of them because of other people that I knew playing the game. So that is definitely a valid thing that I know happens with a lot of people. So one of the biggest things in the mobile game community nowadays is, you know, a game being around for 2, 3, 4 months and being really good, and then everyone's just like, nah, I'm gonna go back to playing what I played before. So I want to know, what is it about Crush Them All that kept you playing for over 2 years?
Well, you know, first of all, just the social aspect with the community. It has a big community, and, you know, my friends, the guild and stuff, but also the fact that once you start Crush Them All, it seems like a really simple game, but the game has a lot of depth, so it's really strategic and stuff, so I really enjoy that aspect.
Yeah, I could definitely say that. I mean, I've only been playing for a couple weeks now, but there's definitely a lot more in this game than I expected. I don't know if you saw my best endgame arena team video, but it took me so long to figure out the best way to get that team ruined up and stuff. There was a lot of serious thought going into that, more than I ever thought I would put into a mobile game, to be honest. But okay, so the next question, this is probably going to be the most controversial question, to be honest, of any of these videos that I do, and that is, I kind of want to get a feel for how you got to where you are in the amount of time that you got there. And so I'm going to ask the deadly question is, are you free to play? Are you a dolphin? Are you a whale? Like, in terms of spending, what would you classify yourself as in Crush Them All?
Well, I'm definitely a whale. I'm well past VIP 9 now, so...
Okay. And there is no VIP 10, right?
Not yet. They've talked about it, but we'll see what happens.
They've talked about it, man. They're like, keep spending. We'll make it. We promise.
Yeah.
Soon, TM. Okay, so you spent a decent amount on the game. No worries. I mean, I know I've spent a little bit of money. Not gonna lie, I've spent a little bit. I'm like almost halfway through VIP 3 to VIP 4. But that's not that difficult to get to be honest. I mean, I'd be really curious to see how much it takes to get VIP 9, but I'm not going to ask you that question because you might be a little bit too much information to give out there, probably, right?
Well, that's about 10 grand, I think.
Oh, dang. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then again, though, we spread it out over 2 years. I mean, you know, that's one of the issues that I have with mobile games is I used to spend a lot of money on mobile games, and I'd be like, oh, it's only $5. Oh, it's only $10. And then, like, you look at how much you spent over the month, you're like, I spent $1,000 on this game, but I just did it, you know, 100 times at $10 or whatever. That's how they get you, man. That's how they get you. All right, man. So let's get into more about the actual game itself. There's a lot of really cool things about the game. One of the things that I like the most is actually the character design. I think that the characters look really cool. I really like the artwork, and just like, you know, the movement, the weapons, like just the progression of the characters and leveling up. So I want to know, who is your favorite character in this game and why?
Well, I like the design too. Shout out to Fun Shark who does the designs. I think. Yeah, Tesla was always my favorite hero. She was the first epic hero that I got,
Okay.
and I always used to do light, farm light 3 days a week, so I could max her, and it took me, nearly 2 years, but eventually I maxed her. Funny thing is, once I maxed her, I kind of realized that the runes I would need to really make her effective were so difficult to get that I had to put her on hold for like a full year before I actually built the hero and effectively used her. So
Man, that sucks. You're like, this is my favorite character, but I can't even use her. That
yeah,
sucks.
that's
That
how it
sucks.
is. You gotta be sensible about it.
Yeah. Well, I think Tesla's really cool too. She was on that team that I was talking about, that best endgame arena team, and when I was doing my testing, man, she was just destroying. Keep in mind, these were like best runes possible, 6-star, max leveled, full optimization, but she was destroying the enemies, man. It was pretty insane for sure. Okay, I like Tesla too. I think she's pretty cool. I don't know who my favorite character is. I really like the design of Onyx. I think he or she, whatever, looks really cool. But Tesla is interesting. I really want to get Tesla just because like her skills are really cool looking. That's for sure. All right, so next one is let's go more on the favorite side again, because I think that games are about having fun, and although it's a competitive game to a degree, right? There is a lot of people who they are happy playing a game just because it's fun, not necessarily because it's competitive. So what would you say is your favorite game mode out of all the game modes? Everything, Guild War, Arena, everything.
Well, I prefer Guild Wars and Blitz. Basically, well, I'm going to give you two. Guild Wars is great because we always had raids or the slay boss event that, it was kind of like the thing that the whole guild did together, but it was never that much teamwork required. So Guild Wars really brings the guild together. So I like that. But I still think that Blitz is the mode that has the most depth as far as strategy. Unfortunately, Blitz is like there's no cap on how much flues you can spend, so that kind of waters it down a bit in terms of integrity. But yeah, Blitz and Guild Wars are my favorites.
Okay. Yeah, I like Blitz. There's another game that I play that has a Blitz mode of sorts. And it's the same but different. And I don't know, I didn't like it in that other game, but I actually do like it in this game. The fact that there's 3 different blitzes is crazy for me though, because there's a lot of like thinking like, oh well, I want to get this reward from this blitz, so I need to use these characters here. So there's definitely a lot of depth in there. I would definitely agree, and I'm not even close to being able to do all 3 blitzes at any kind of max potential. So there's definitely a lot of fun in Blitz. But Guild Wars, I'm still getting the feel for Guild Wars. This is my second Guild War that I'm doing here coming up, where I was actually able to like compete at like a decent level. So we'll see how it goes. But awesome. That's cool. Okay, so the next thing is about kind of like the future. I want to get your opinion on the future because you've played the game for a while. You've seen, what they have brought to the game, what they've changed in the game. So I want to know, what do you think is the most likely, and what would you like to see come in the next, let's say, 6 months to a year for Crush Them All? Let's give Godsey Labs a little bit of what the players want. So what would you like to see in the next 6 months to a year?
Well, I would like to see more value added to the Slay Boss events because there's not a lot of rewards, but I don't think they're going to touch that because it's kind of like it already works. So they're probably going to add another mode. So that's what we're looking at, which they've already kind of announced. There's some sort of PvE mode that's coming other than the Slay Boss event.
Okay.
As for what I would like to see, I think there's a problem for new players, unfortunately, where you're too far behind on shards when you start the game. And I would really like to see some sort of catch up mechanic so that if you're below a certain point in shards, you gain more so that you're able to be competitive with older players sooner. To close the gap, there should be some sort of catch up mechanic for shards, basically.
Okay, I like that actually. There's a I'm gonna throw a little bit of a shout out to another game here. I actually play Marvel Strike Force as well. I don't know if you've heard of that game. And they have had a lot of issues with catch-up mechanics, and so what they did was they actually added in a new orb that's called Milestone Orbs that gives you shards of characters, from before to kind of help you catch up. Maybe something like that could be a thing. Like you get when you complete certain achievements or you move into certain modes, you get a special chest that gives you shards for characters that are common or something along those lines. Would that be something that you'd be that could sort of fill that role for you, or do you think it would need to be something else?
No, that could work. Well, anything, as long as the new players just need more arena shards somehow, and perhaps more of the expedition resources so that they can actually spend the shards.
Mm-hmm.
But there needs to be just, in any way they do it, just some sort of catch up mechanic, and please don't, sell it. This should be accessible for everyone, I think. Sorry, Maleki.
Name drop. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good idea, some kind of catch-up mechanic, especially because like I feel like maybe I haven't, but I feel like I brought a lot of new people to the game over the past couple weeks. I know that I have brought in like at least 15, I know, in my own Discord from my knighthood community. So definitely brought in at least 15 to 20 people to the game in the last couple of weeks that I'm aware of, and I'm sure I've brought in more as well. But definitely would be nice to see some kind of catch-up mechanic. I feel like I'm doing pretty well without spending like a ridiculous amount of money. Like I said, I just bought those couple starter packs, but definitely not bad for where I'm at. I think a lot of the people in my guild are like, geez, you're skyrocketing in power. I'm at like almost 300k power already in like just a little over 3 weeks, I think. So definitely not bad, but I'm all for free stuff, so bring the free stuff, Gazi Labs. All right, so the next question is I want to get more into like tips and tricks for early game to mid game players, maybe even end game players. Probably not, because I feel like they're probably all close to where you are in progression, maybe. But let's just get down to what's the one unit that you would recommend focusing on early game? Just one unit. If you had to pick one unit to focus on, who would it be?
Well, it seems like the general consensus is Skeleton Giant, which everyone's probably already heard if they've been in the Discord. But yeah, getting basically it's a common hero, but as a new player, you can get those medals way faster. Yeah. So like a 7-star common hero is going to outperform your 4 or 5-star rare heroes. So you get Skeleton Giant maxed, put a 5th Awaken on him, 9th weapon, and you go from there.
Okay, so you actually recommend taking him to weapon level 9.
Maybe that's a bit stupid by me, because you're not going to have that many of those catalysts. I'm kind of blinded by farming the top tier blitz thing. So maybe not 9th weapon, but at least 6th, and you'll need to check with someone else to know the exact number there. But anyways, yeah. Yeah,
I was gonna say most people, for me, when I've asked this question, they've recommended to get Skeleton Giant to 7 yellow, either 4 or 5 purple, and then to weapon level 6. That's kind of where they recommend going, because Skeleton Giant's good, but you want to start pushing into leveling up the rest of your roster for modes like Arena and Blitz and things like that. That's kind of what most people have recommended for me.
Yeah,
because I can definitely say the exponential of things, like getting to 4 awakens was 1,000 of each mat, and now I'm trying to get to 5 awakens, and it's 3,000 of each mat. So it's a pretty big jump in power there, or in requirements there to get to that next awaken level. But I think Skeleton Giant is definitely what most people recommend. I know it's what I've been recommending to new people when they ask me, because that's what I've been recommended. So definitely seems like a good focus there. So the next question is, what game mode do you think is the best game mode to focus on for early game? Like, do you think you should build out Guild War teams? Do you think you should build out an arena team, Blitz, etc.? What game mode would you think is the best to focus on?
Well, like I stressed earlier, the importance of shards, and you're going to get the majority of your shards from Arena, which is by far the most important mode to begin with, because you're really limited, as you've probably experienced, in the amount of heroes that you can focus on. So you definitely want to only touch heroes that go in your Arena team as a new player, and then from there you can expand to Guild Wars and Blitz, but that's going to take way more than 10 heroes, so that's simply not where you begin. Don't think about your guild too much. Be a bit selfish and focus on your arena team and go from there.
Okay, that kind of makes the most sense. Focusing on the thing that requires the least amount of heroes but gives you the most amount of rewards is I think pretty common for most games. I also think though that there's an argument for focusing on characters that are good in multiple modes. Especially if you're free to play, and I think that I do my best to cater to free to play players. Because most games I play, I am free to play. Like I said, I've spent a little bit here, but my goal is definitely to give advice to people for free to play, ability, because not everyone has the funds to pay money for a game. So I think most of the time I recommend trying to focus on characters that are good everywhere, which is why I think Skeleton Giant is a good early focus, because A, it's easy to max him, but then B, he's good in Arena early on, he's good in Guild Wars later, right? Because once you'll want a second team, he's a decent tank for a second team. So I think that focusing on units that are good in multiple modes is probably a pretty good suggestion as well. Would you agree with that?
For sure, but when it comes to Arena, like any hero that you're going to put in your Arena team is going to be good in every other mode, because it's only going to be top tier heroes like Scott, Dark Hunter, etc. So,
right. Okay. So the next thing is we kind of touched this a little bit with the last question, but I want to know, what do you think is the best way to progress in the early and mid game? Do you think it's better to focus on PvE or PvP? Or like what's the best way, like the mindset you should have early on to progress as fast as possible?
I definitely think you want to put most of your focus on PvP, and in general, it's important to just be consistent. Try to go for the value plays. Thinking long term. Don't think like what's going to be good tomorrow. Think about a month or 3 months ahead. Because this is an incremental game, so you make decisions for the long term. It's going to pay off eventually, and just don't do too much. Some people they try to go and do too many things, and then they burn out, and then they fall behind because just be consistent about things, basically.
Okay, so kind of like have a game plan in mind and stick to that game plan as much as you can, basically.
Yeah, for example, like if you have time for 20 chests, you do 20 of your 40. Don't do 40 and then suddenly you're too tired and you can't even stand to watch a single ad, for example. Just stuff like that.
Right.
Pick the correct pace depending on your life and your schedule and everything.
Yeah, like obviously if you can get all 40 of your chests for that free flues, do it. But, if it's going to overtake your life, then probably not worth it, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. I like that suggestion. I think that's a good thing. I know one of the biggest reasons why I end up leaving games is because I play the game so hard that I just get to the point where there's either nothing to do anymore, or I've burnt myself out and it's not fun anymore, and that's one of the biggest things. So I think balancing fun plus progression is definitely something to focus on. And I think ever since I started doing YouTube, it's a lot less for me. But for you guys who are watching this video, definitely make sure you're still having fun with the game. So don't push too hard, too fast. I definitely think that's a good thing. All right, well, we got just one final question for you today, PK. And I think that this is a good question to end on, because if they remember anything from watching this video, it's going to be this. And that is going to be, if you had just one piece of information that you could give to a player, one piece of advice, one thing to focus on that we haven't already talked about in this video, what would it be?
Well, join the Discord, seek out knowledge. Your guild might not know everything. it's okay to, you know, play with your guild, play with your friends, but just try to find, you know, knowledge, people that can help you get better, whether it's your guild or if it's someone outside your guild. Just be proactive, you know, try to get help, do the right things. Because everyone has a guild and they're going to tell you something. And I don't know. I just get the sense that no matter what guild people have, they're given the impression that their captains know what they're talking about, and it's usually not the case. So just seek out knowledge, basically, and join the Discord if you haven't already.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely always try to double check my information before I do something. But I definitely, if you guys, one of the biggest things about any game, in my opinion, is joining the community. If the community is not good, if the community is not fun for you, if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to like the game in the long term. So definitely hit up and join the communities. I have links to my Discord. I have links to the official CTA Discord. And I also have links to the official CTA Reddit. You can join all three of those communities in the description below. We also have a guild that a couple of my friends in my Discord are running called the Dojo. I am not in the guild. I'm in a different guild, but it is a guild that's run by my community. So if you guys want to be a part of my community and join our CTA guild, you definitely can join the Discord down below and hop in that guild with us as well. But there's a lot of Discords out there. I know that I'm in like 6 different CTA Discords, and they all have a wealth of information. So definitely, you know, join the official Discord, ask questions, double check the answers to those questions. To be honest, there's actually a lot of stuff that the devs have put in that official Discord that's actually super helpful. They actually just updated their staging their starter guide channel, giving you like some pretty decent early game tips, as well as a link to my beginner video in there as well that you can always check out. But the official Discord, I think, is definitely a good place to start. So that is, information is always important. All right, PK, is there anything else you want to say? You want to shout anyone out? Since you're in the video, I'll let you shout someone out if you want. Go ahead.
No thanks. I'm good. I'm not gonna do it. Shout out to Young. But yeah, thank you, man. It was fun.
All right, man.
Good luck,
thanks so much for hanging out with us today, man. If you guys like this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so you can be notified when all my videos go live. And if you liked this video as well, please make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And please enjoy the end screen.